Hello and welcome to what now has an actual title of the Alfology2 podcast. Last time out we had a nice little monologue on why the alphabet is in the wrong order and which order it should be in. Today something slightly different, which is known as the Scotch egg origin controversy. This, unsurprisingly, is a controversy about the origins of a Scotch egg. So as a bit of background, I do this thing known as Big Alf's Big Food Tour. That pretty much does what it says on the tin. It's a food tour where I go to places with foods named after them. I eat the food in the place. Examples of this are bolognese in Bologna, Parmesan cheese in Parma, hamburgers in Hamburg, and so on and so forth. For the purpose of doing this, I have a website, which is bigalfsbigfoodtour.com, and an Instagram account with the username bigalfsbigfoodtour. So do feel free to check out and give me a follow. In order to get more ideas for the food tour, more places to go, more foods to eat, I joined some travel Facebook groups and asked people for some ideas on there. Off the back of that, I had some random visits and some random likes and some random comments on the Instagram page itself. Total strangers just wandering into my Instagram account and just critiquing what I've been doing and saying it's a good idea, it's a bad idea, what they think about it. Honestly, it's a bit invasive, but that's what social media is for, isn't it? Publicising us to the world for strangers to take the piss. Anyway, one such stranger took particular issue with two of the options on my list. He chimed in with the following. There's a few tenuous links there. The sandwich was named after the Earl of Sandwich, not the place, and the Scotch egg was created by the London store, Fortnum & Mason, as a convenient picnic item in their hampers. Now, if you want to get slightly technical, he is right. However, if you want to get very technical, he is wrong. Pretty cool fact about the sandwich is that it was invented by the Earl of Sandwich, who is from Sandwich. You don't really think of the sandwich as being the sort of food that has an inventor, but it does, and actually wasn't that long ago. I think it was 200 or 300 years ago, 17th, 18th century sort of time. That's a pretty cool fact that, obviously the bread was invented in 10,000 BC. So in 12,000 years of having bread, only in the most recent 200 has anyone decided to cut it up and put something in it, which is class. Anyway, besides the point. The point is that the Earl of Sandwich is named after the town of Sandwich. He is the Earl of Sandwich. And him naming the food after himself, indirectly, he is naming the food after the town. Therefore, it counts for the food tour. So, that person commenting is wrong. Naturally, there were two parts to his comment, though, the second part being about the Scotch egg. He says that it was invented by Fortnum & Mason in London, which it was. I came fully prepared with my Wikipedia research, which I did before the food tour, to prove that each one did in fact count and was named after the place. Now, on Wikipedia, it says that the Scotch egg was invented by Fortnum & Mason, again, as he suggests. But it also says that at that time the Scots Guards were stationed in London, which they were. The Scotch egg became very popular with the Scots Guards and became named after them. If I'm not mistaken, the Scots Guards are in fact named after Scotland, and therefore the Scotch egg being named after them means it is named after Scotland. It counts. I'm eating a Scotch egg in Scotland. So, being the sassy bitch that I am, I go back to him and say, "Oh, you want to dance?" And then I relay these facts to him, that obviously the Earl of Sandwich is named after Sandwich, and therefore the sandwich is named after Sandwich indirectly. And the more interesting one, that the Scotch egg is named after the Scots Guards, who are named after Scotland as well. So, on to a winner. But no, this bastard isn't having it. He comes back to me with an actually, fucking hate that word on the internet, actually, Scotch is an abbreviation of scotched, meaning to pulverise the meat. I'm a chef of 26 years with a degree in food science, and I've been teaching chefing for 7 years. That's what he says. And then he follows up with another comment, 2 comments, back to back, bang, bang. Comes in with the Scotch egg is actually a modern abbreviation of scotched, which is its true name. I don't know, you mentioned that in the last comment, mate, but we won't dwell on that. Scotching involves hacking it to either tenderise or roughly mince, which refers to the Scotch egg and the meat surrounding the egg. Something that is Scotch is now generally regarded as being coated in breadcrumbs and fried too. And to be fair, I see his point. He's onto a winner there. And at this point, I'm on the back foot. I'm thinking, maybe this guy is onto one. Maybe it is named after the process of scotching. It does make sense. The meat is scotched. Then again, scotched egg, that sounds fucking ridiculous. It's not a scotched egg, it's a Scotch egg, much like Scotch whisky must be named after Scotland. But, he continued. Fucking sass on this guy as well. Comes back with, I'm still waiting on that dance, which, to be fair, is great. Great banter. Anyway, at this point, obviously I've said I'm on the ropes, and I decided to do some more internet research rather than just using the old trusty Wikipedia. And it looks like he's right. I go through a lot of pages, a lot of research about the Scotch egg, and the same thing keeps coming up. It's not about Scotland. It's not Scottish. They're not from Scotland. It's nothing to do with being named after Scotland. It's to do with scotching. And unfortunately, I was thinking, well, I'm going to have to concede to this guy here, which is embarrassing. And also, the list we put up on Instagram, I don't know if you know, but once you put a picture up on Instagram, you can't edit that post. You have to take it down and repost. And seeing as this was the first post and there has been posts since, it would have been a nightmare. A nightmare. People would have seen what's happened. They would have seen my embarrassment. So I was keen to avoid it. So I put him under a holding pattern to pin him down. I tell him that the evidence from my online research is inconclusive, which was a lie. It was all pointing towards his theory. But that I would, in fact, follow up with Fortnum & Mason, the inventors of the Scotch egg, to get a conclusive answer. That's good, solid, investigative work. We're going to go through the process. We're going to ask the inventors. They're going to settle this dispute. And then we can all get on with our miserable lives. Despite me placing him in a holding pattern, he continued to bleat on in these Instagram comments. And here we have an example of such bleating. And if we want to be completely pedantic, the idea for the Scotch egg was stolen from an Indian dish, and the idea from a sandwich was stolen from the Earl's travels in Greece and Turkey and experiences from eating meze boards, which actually, to be fair, does put a little bit of a punch to the old sandwiches invented recently. They've been eaten in Greece for fucking years. But nevertheless, we call it a sandwich because it was invented by the Earl of Sandwich. He can get fucked. I gave him a nice like on his comment there, just to obviously put a pin in him more, whilst my research in the matter continued. So, what was the next step? The next step was to get in touch with Fortnum & Mason. Don't really like talking to people on the phone, something to do with my nasally voice. I know that's probably a little bit of a contradiction, bearing in mind I'm recording it right now. So, decided to send them an email. And I sent them the following email. Chaps, do me a favour. Can you confirm if you named the Scotch egg after the process of scotching, or if it was in fact to do with their popularity with the Scots Guards? Cheers, Big Alf. I then plotted and awaited the response, ready to hit him, or ready to never mention it again in case I lost. An eternity went by, and by an eternity, I mean about 24 hours. They come back, customer services, Mark from customer services, Fortnum & Mason, comes back via email. Dear Mr. Scott, nice like that, really nice, proper, dear, I'm dear to him. Good response. Thank you for your inquiry. He's pleased to see it. He loves the inquiry. The Scotch egg was indeed named as such because it was popular with the officers of the Scotch Guards who were stationed at Wellington Barracks in London for and on behalf of Fortnum & Mason. Kind regards from Mark, Customer Services Manager. Yes, back of the net, I had him. Now, to showcase my victory, I thought about tracking this guy down, seeing where he lives, go and doorstep him, knock on his door, he opens the door, I laugh in his face, shove a Scotch egg in his fucking mouth and say, Oi, you prick, I was right, you were wrong, who's the professional fucking chef now? But then I realised that would be weird and probably at least a little bit illegal, so decided not to do it. So I went with probably the only method I had of contacting him, and I replied to his Instagram comment. One or two ways of going about this. I was potentially thinking about rubbing it in his face, saying, Oi, you come here onto my Instagram account, criticising my food tour, getting involved with my business, and then you're wrong, you prick. Then again, I also thought maybe, go a little bit nicer, pretend like it means nothing to me, and that's what I went for. Just go, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, turns out that you were wrong and I was right. So I replied to him. I give him the big one. I tell him, got a response from Fortnum & Mason. Not too much. By the way, BT Dubs, named a Scotch egg, due to its popularity with the Scotch Guards, it counts, nonchalant. Nonchalance was effective. He's clearly received notification, because, that's how social media works. replied to my previous comment, so he's seen it. He's seen it. No response. No response to that. His silence is deafening. I'm deafened by the silence that this guy's giving me. All he's gone back to his own Instagram account to post about being a chef, teaching chefery, whatever it's called, studying food. Gone back to his own Instagram with his tail between his legs and left me alone. Now that is what I call a victory. I know I titled this the Scotch egg origin controversy, and I guess maybe there was a little bit of controversy, but actually, I fucking pulled that guy's pants down and spanked him. No, fucking spanked him. And it's the sort of online heavyweight punch, which feels great for me, but doesn't really get the attention that it deserved. No one was ever going to see that. So that's why I decided to record me doing an 11-minute monologue about how it happened. And on the whole, I feel better. I feel nice to get it off my chest. I'm sure at least somebody has listened to this, so it's off my chest. Somebody else knows. And anyway, thank you for listening. If you listened all the way through, and even if you haven't, if you just skipped to the end, then thank you also. Please do tune in again for the next one, as and when that will come, and hit the old subscribe button. And yes, thank you very much.